It's Mira Business FM, it's the morning drive, and we've heard the headlines for months. Record numbers of millionaires fleeing the UK following the 2024 election. We've talked about it on this programme before, but according to our next guest, it's no longer just the ultra-wealthy packing their bags. It's the plumbers, the engineers, the tech graduates. The UK's loss, he says, is Dubai's gain, and he's now calling on the next generation of ambitious Brits to ditch the UK for the UAE. But is this, here's the question, a genuine path to prosperity or a devastating brain drain for Britain? Joining us live is the man who built an empire from a second-hand van to become Britain's most famous plumber, the founder of Pimlico Plumbers, chairman of WeFix as well. Charlie Mullins OBE is with me. Charlie, it's good to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, and it's great to be here and looking forward to it.
It's good to be talking to you. I was excited to meet you, and then you were supposed to be here yesterday, and Rod Stewart was playing, and you know, things changed, and now we've got you today on a day when it's like being back in London. Let's face it.
It's being back in London, but it just shows how much the infrastructure needs to be relooked at here to get it up to the standard it needs to be.
A bit more drainage. It's a lot better now than it was in April 2024 when I don't know if you remember the flood that hit then.
Yes.
Epic, doesn't even do it justice. Look, thanks for joining us. I want to talk to you about you being here in Dubai, why you left London, why you left the UK, why you think the country is no longer the place that, a place where success is celebrated. That story is sort of synonymous with you, I think. You're almost a poster boy for that kind of point of view. But I want to start with you, first of all. Not everyone watching or listening to this is going to be familiar with you or your story, so I'll outline it quickly and you can fill in the blanks if you like. You're known for running a super successful family plumbing business for a number of years. You were a business advisor to David Cameron, the former UK Prime Minister. You're known these days as a bit of a media personality as well, it's fair to say. Let's start, though, with the early days, where you came from, what led you to setting up the business.
Sure. Okay, so early days, I come from a very poor background, poor family in North London. And I would bunk off school, help a local plumber to earn some money and survive through life. And he said to me then, you know, if you take up a trade as an apprenticeship, you'll earn loads of money and never be out of work. And this was 60-odd years ago.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I've done. I kept my schooling to a minimum. I'm not suggesting that's what people do today, but that's how it was then. I've done an apprenticeship at 15, finished at 19, become self-employed, set up a company called Pimlico Plumbers in 1979, and I sold that company in 2021 to an American company called Neighbourly. I sold it for about 150 million pounds. Our turnover was 50 million. We employed about 500 people. And over that period of time, I trained over 1,200 apprentices. So it was a very sort of high-class selective plumbing service, plus other home services, roofing, carpentry, electrics, central heating, decorating, drainage, all and everything that we undertook in the end. But it was working for a very high-class clientele in the Belgravia areas. We got a great name, a good reputation. The business run for 41 years. We was turning over 50 million. I decided then that that type of offer from the Americans was too difficult to turn down. I regret it now because they've not really done very well with the company. We had a 3-year lockout clause that finished in September 2024, and I started a new company called WeFix London, which does the same thing but a lot better, a lot more high profile, a lot more quality service, a lot more better staff, better engineers, top of the range, basically the Harrods of the plumbing world.
You see, the thing about you is you're well known, you're controversial in a lot of ways. We'll come to some of this a little bit later on. Loved and hated. People say nice things. People say less than nice things about you. But one of the things, and I've been sitting reading about you for the last few days, is exactly what you've just said. Pimlico Plumbers is not looked upon the way it was when you ran it, and I can't find any negative reviews of the company with you in charge of it. It was a very
Oh,
well looked on concern.
very much so. It's very much a family business, and as you know, I think when a family business or family are involved in a business, you tend to treat it differently rather than just about bottom line. It's more of a personal thing. I had, children there, grandchildren there, wives there, girlfriends, not at the same time.
Good to know.
And so it was very much a family business, and I think it's totally different when you're running a family business, and that was it become very, very successful. It actually, you introduced me as probably the most well-known plumber or the richest plumber in the UK. Well, I'll be the most well-known plumber in the world and the richest plumber in the world. That's for sure, because we set a different level, a different standard of what we've done. And the only reason that I came back with a new company, We Fix London, purely on the basis that the Americans have got it wrong. They're starting to go down. They're all about bottom line. Venture capitalists bought the company out as I sold it, and they're only interested in bottom line. And all of a sudden, there's a big gap in the market. We come up with this We Fix London for the obvious reason. London needs fixing, like many other places. But also with the idea that We Fix London can go anywhere. It can be We Fix Dubai, We Fix Marbella, We Fix wherever we want. That's been going just over a year now, and we're doing quite well. I'm not going to say we're doing brilliant, but we're doing quite well. Next year, a year from now, we will overtake my previous company.
Okay.
Not necessarily on turnover, but on quality and reliability and the type of people we have working for us. I mean, they are coming down the ladder and we're going up the ladder.
Okay, so that's the sort of promise that you're making. I'm interested in how you got to where you got before, and how you're aiming to get there again, as you say. Your attitude, because you've said yourself you left school young, so not academic, not really that interested.
That's
and
true.
you wanted to get into itching to get to work, I suppose. You found something that you could do, that you were interested in. You wanted to build something. What was the secret to that? Because from a customer point of view, you were very successful. The way you treated people, the work you did for people. But what was the secret to getting that right with the business?
Pretty simple, really. It's called quality of service. People will always pay for quality, reliability, people that turn up on time, people that get on with the job, people that are transparent. But it's quality of service. So I learned a long time ago, people will always pay for quality.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done, was offer the quality service. So it was a break away from traditional plumber turning up with his bum hanging out, I suppose I better say, rather than something else.
You can say behind it.
Okay, well, with his arse hanging out then. Rusty old van, not being transparent, not finishing the job, not
Right.
being tidy, not wearing uniform, not wearing sort of overshoes, not finishing the job. The trade had a bad stigma about it, and my determination at the time was to change it. I didn't want to be classed as, oh, you're never here, you don't turn up, you're late, you're scruffy, etc. So it wasn't a case of doing anything clever. It was a case of doing it the right way, and the best way to run a business is the right way.
Yeah, so much more professional than most. Because you're right. I mean, I think lots of the trades, electricians, plumbers, tradespeople are looked on in that way. But you're looked on in that way negatively because of the people that don't get it right, the unprofessional attitudes. Okay, so that was the difference. What about hard work? I mean, it must have been tough.
Well, of course. I mean, I don't know anybody that's successful without hard work. And there's the ups and downs in it, the sleepless nights, and are you going to get through it, and are you going to survive? And we had, I think, 2 to 3 recessions. First one, we nearly went bust. and we changed a lot of things around with how we operated, basically we used to give credit to customers, and then we made it everything is payment on completion. That was the turning point.
Right.
We then was very much doing a lot of work for celebrity people, politicians, so-called important people, pop stars, in the London area. Not just that type of clientele, but it's quite sort of crowded with them type of people in London. And you know, and then once you're working for them people, the reputation just goes around. I was very, very sort of much into apprenticeships because that's where I am. That's how I got to where I am today, by doing an apprenticeship. So I'm a great believer in apprenticeship. I'm not a great believer necessarily in universities. Yes, if you're that academic, yes, if you're going to be a doctor, a scientist, or maybe a finance or certain other practices that are needed, but a lot of stuff is not necessarily needed a degree. An apprenticeship, I believe, is equivalent to any degree. I mean, an apprenticeship will earn you as much money as any bank manager in the UK, if not more. So I think what I'm really trying to say is you don't need brains to be successful.
You need to keep working. And
You
keep
need
doing it.
determination, you need enthusiasm,
resilience.
you need drive,
Yeah.
and you need common sense. And the problem is with common sense, it ain't that common.
That's often said. You are right. So that's sort of your, I guess, ingredient list for success. You're known for bringing on, apprentices, and there's a lot said about apprenticeships. So that recently, let me put this to you: Jensen Huang is the guy that owns Nvidia, great big chip maker, one of the most successful business people on earth. He was asked recently about growth industries in the future and, the effect of AI, artificial intelligence and everything. And he said, do you know what? Future growth industries, something you can always do well: plumbing, electricians, these are the tradespeople, because AI can't wire your house for you, can't fix your toilet for you. These are the kinds of things. So it's as important now. But I think lots of the apprenticeships in the last 30, 40 years have been lost, haven't they?
Well, they've been lost because the government have took their eye off the ball. They push university like Tony Blair, university. So they took their eye off the ball. So therefore, now there's a massive shortage of apprentices coming through, massive shortage of tradespeople, massive shortage of people just entering into the building or construction industry. And that side of it is booming. And I'm baffled how so-called educated people, they go to university knowing that in 5 years' time, what they're learning, their job may not be there because of AI. But you're right; it will never happen with manual workers, shall we say, or skilled workers. And I notice the demand now is more so than ever. I mean, if you want to be a millionaire, be a plumber.
It's good advice. You've done it. When did you start thinking about selling the business? Because you were already wealthy, you were already living well when you were the official, owner of the business. You were able to enjoy the proceeds of all the work you'd put in. So when did you start thinking about that? And you've already kind of intimated how you feel about the private equity firm that bought the company. How do you feel about them now? Because you spent, 49 years or so? It was a long time building this.
Yeah, look, obviously, it's when you've started a business from scratch, from the back of a van, and you build it up to that size, and I think we had about 40,000 square foot premises in the end, and we had everything in house. Mechanics. We had our own account system, call center, customer care, supplies, all and everything in house. So it was a big decision to sell it. I think it was the right decision at the time because COVID was around, and I sold it just as COVID finished, which was September 2021. So we had gone through probably a couple of years of COVID. Even though when COVID was there, we was incredibly busy because we had permission to carry out the service still because we was providing a service, and we was the first company to come up with the mask and the testing, and before the government. I bought masks before the government even thought about masks. I bought testing kits before the government even thought about it. It was mentioned to me about it, and I just thought to myself, this is a winner. So we bought loads of it, and our plumbers would turn up a residential property, and the customer would already ask, you know, has he had the jab? You know, has he been tested? And we say, well, you know, some have, some haven't, but he'll happily carry out the test on your doorstep. Bearing in mind, he'd already tested if he comes to the office that morning. So it was a winner for us, the COVID, and it just took us to a different level. And, you know, whether it was right or wrong, you know, about the jab, at the time, customers were asking for people that they want someone that they're going to feel safe with in their property.
Well, that was the wisdom at the time, wasn't it? The wisdom was, you know, this is very serious. However you see it now, there are different schools of thought on this. But at the time, you were very tough on everybody that worked for you having the jab. You were very pro-vax.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what exactly happened was, you know, anybody who worked for us had to be tested, they had to have the test kits with them. We had all the office geared up, a proper machine that you had to walk through in temperatures. Everyone was spaced out. We got it right. We had to follow the system. And I say, at that time, the world was all over the place. You know, nobody knew what was going on. So we followed the system. We never forced anyone to have the jab. And nobody actually, at that time, people was actually going out and getting the jab anyhow, because that was the advice from government and scientists. But what we were saying to everybody was, after September 21, before it finished all of a sudden, what we said is we won't take on any new staff unless they've had the jab. But we never actually got to that because all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah.
But that was what we was going to do. And so we wasn't forcing anybody, but we, as far as I could see it, we had to protect our customers, and we was also protecting our staff.
So your perception at the time was, and you've said this already, look, it's common sense here. I want my business to run. I'm going to take a common sense approach. Is that how you looked at it?
Yeah,
Simple
undoubtedly. I mean, you know, whichever way we look at it now, we can look back now and mistakes may have been well made, but we carried out what the instructions and procedure what was given by the government. And you also got to remember, we're told that, you know, thousands, if not millions of people died with COVID. So, you know, whichever way you want to dress it up. But we moved on from that, and, you know, I think all of a sudden people started realising that a company like us are doing it the right way. I mean, you know, you couldn't go into a restaurant, you couldn't get on a train, you couldn't go out of your house sometimes with it.
You forget now, looking back, you're right, you forget looking back at how strict it was. I mean, here, I don't know if you spent any time.
I was here a lot of time.
You were here a lot, but when it first happened, you would text the police to say, "Can I have a pass to go to the supermarket?" And I'll be out for an hour.
Really?
That was in the, you know, the very beginning of it, and you know the cleaning of Sheikh Zayed Road and different streets, different areas. So, because nobody knew at the time. Let's move on to something else that you're well known for. And that is leaving the United Kingdom. I know you're not keen on the Labour government in charge at the moment. I'll underplay that a little bit. And I want to ask you about this because I want to get to your motivation for leaving, because it is interesting, and we're reading lots of stories about this mass exodus of people who've done well. Millionaires leaving the UK. It's a familiar story. You've seen lots of governments come and go over the years. What was it about the 2024 Labour victory? Why was that the final straw for you?
Okay, well, look, the Labour don't have a very good business record in the past. We always go bust when they've been in power. They're very anti-business. They don't have anybody in the Labour Party that's ever run their own business. This is in the cabinet, I mean. And they're just not for what I call working people. You know, they're all for giving people stuff that people that don't want to work. They're not for, like, the harder you work in the UK, you're penalised. Success is looked on as a bad word. And from the Labour government point of view, they've changed it completely for the worse. They've always been bad when they was in, and all of a sudden they just made it virtually impossible for a business to grow, a business to expand. They brought out new employment laws. They're implementing various different things that make it so difficult to employ people. Doing away with self-employed people. They're penalising successful people. And I said at the time that if Labour get in, I will leave the UK.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'd started up We Fix London. We hadn't started it up till they was in, but we'd been planning it a couple of years. So we was getting the building ready. Because people often say to me, well, if you don't like Labour that much, they're very anti-business, why set the company up? Well, anyone with half a brain knows a company don't just set up overnight. It takes a time. But if I'd have known Labour had got in, we would be called We Fix Dubai now.
Okay.
That's for sure. And since they've got in, it's proven it. Businesses have gone backwards. The economy is the worst it's ever been. I believe the UK is in the biggest mess that in my lifetime it's ever been. And rightly, millions. I was probably one of the first millionaires, or whatever, millionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever you want to call it, to leave the UK. And then everybody, a lot of other people followed. A lot of people have not made it public yet that they're leaving. But now what I'm finding is it's not just the wealthy people that are leaving, it's the people that don't see a future in the UK and they can see a better future elsewhere. I mean, the UK has gone backwards so much. Now, the government disagree with this. I've had my disagreements with them. I've had court cases with them. I don't know if you know, but I got an OBE for business, meaning Order of the British Empire from the King,
I know.
Prince Charles at the time. And they tried to take that off me because some of the things I've said about them, but I'm only telling the truth.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about that whole situation. But as you say, for you, look, I'm asking you for your opinion, so I'm not here to judge you. I'm just asking you to, tell us how you feel. And if you feel that you're telling the truth and this is how you feel, you stuck by your word and you left.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the problem is with a lot of people in life, they don't like the truth. And my truth is backed up by the facts, by the amount of people that are leaving. I think it's something like over 750,000 people last year left the UK. I actually already know that this year it'll be well over 1 million. I know billionaires, I know millionaires, I know people that was on a salary of £50,000 in the UK and they've moved to Dubai. And I meet up with them here. I didn't know them personally, but they know of me. And if they see me here, they come up and say, oh, I moved here because of what you said, Charlie. And they said to me, they can earn 50% less money in Dubai and still be better off. Lifestyle is better off. And the most important thing is the safety. They won't get stabbed in Dubai. In London, the stabbing and the attacks and the raping and all the bad things are going on. And it's a dangerous place. So besides people moving here for a better lifestyle and a country that, inspires people to do well, the big reason people are moving is the safety aspects.
Okay, so Dubai, you're right. Dubai is attractive in a lot of ways to people. I was going to ask you if you think the mass exodus that is being reported in the media is as big a phenomenon as we're led to believe it is. You clearly think it is. You've also said people should go where they're appreciated, and you've kind of outlined that there. Do you feel that the UK government now views entrepreneurs as a problem to be taxed rather than an asset to be grown?
Yeah, undoubtedly. Again, they can't get it in their head. If you penalise successful people, they stop being successful or they move on. So, what they should be doing is giving tax breaks. They should be encouraging people to start up businesses. They should be encouraging training. But they're doing all the opposite to it. It's like, if I'm being honest, if I employed someone to destroy the UK, then it'd be the Labour government because they're doing a great job of it.
You feel that strongly?
You can see how strong I am.
No,
I mean,
I can see.
I could say a lot more about it, but we're on air. I mean, you know, they're as much use as a ashtray on a motorbike.
The chocolate teapot analogy,
Yeah,
all those
exactly.
things. Okay, I'm with you.
They're not business orientated. They're very anti-business, and they're driving people out of this country. And I spoke to a guy at the Rod Stewart concert the other night, English guy, moved over here. I think he said about 10 months ago. And he's telling me that he's got he actually sets up businesses that are moving out of the UK to Dubai, and he tells me he is dealing with 100 companies per day that are interested in leaving. 100 companies per day. Now, there's no reason for him to tell me any lies, but he says he done it, and now he's advising other people how to do it. And he's dealing with 100 companies per day that are interested in moving out of the UK to Dubai.
Okay, so that would point towards some evidence of a mass exodus, I suppose. You live in Spain, don't you, and Dubai now? Do you sort of move between the two?
Both, yeah.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spain's a popular destination. Lots of British people love to go to Spain. Nothing wrong with that. Spain's great. What led you to choose Dubai? Had you been to Spain first and then thought about
Look,
here?
I've had a villa in Spain for about 20 years.
Right.
So I've spent quite a lot of time there. Obviously, it's very local for the UK, 2 to 3 hours to travel. Weather's good, people are good, lifestyle's good. It's a lot safer. So that's the reasons that I'd already picked it as a holiday destination. But I've been coming to Dubai since '96. Always loved it. For me, it's the best place in the world, and I'm not saying it because I'm sitting in there. It's the best place in the world for me. Unfortunately, I invested a lot of money in Spain in property and in the UK. Soon as I sell that, I'll be buying, and hopefully I'll be buying on the Jumeirah Palm.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you about what you're going to be doing here. Just very quickly, one more thing on the UK. Do you miss it? What do you miss about, not being there?
In the UK?
In the UK, yeah.
I've been asked this question many times, and I struggle to think of anything.
Really?
Right, but the only thing I can think of, genuinely, that is family. But the good news is my family have been coming here or Spain for many years. Christmas is 2 or 3 times a year, same as in Spain. So I'm probably seeing more of them now, whether I be in Dubai or Spain, than before. But I can genuinely, honestly say, I done this TV interview the other day, and there is not one thing I miss from the UK.
Yeah.
I don't miss being stabbed. I don't miss being attacked. I don't miss being robbed by the tax people. I don't miss the bad quality of service. I don't miss the bad decision of the government giving all their money away to people that don't work. So there's nothing I miss in the UK other than my family. But the good news is I have 4 children, 11 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren. I know you think I don't look old enough, but I am. And some of them are moving to Dubai. I've got one daughter in her family and partner are moving. I've got another son that's moving, and his son will also move.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't miss nothing from the UK.
All right. I think we can take that as a given. That's fair. Look, what are you going to be doing here? Because obviously you're a person, and you're famously a man that spent a lot of time working. I think there's a little bit of workaholism in you. What are you going to be doing here? What are you looking to spend your time doing?
Okay, well, for some reason, I don't know why, but I never seem to be bored here. Whether it's just the lifestyle, I love the hot weather. I love the quality of service. I love the places I can visit and go to. I seem to, you can work anywhere in the world now, on the phone or the computer.
Yeah.
So I'm still involved with the company We Fix London, very involved. I'm non-executive chairman. Do you know exactly what non-executive chairman means?
I don't really. That's confusing to me.
Can I explain it? And I don't mean this trying to be clever, because I didn't know. Non-executive chairman means that you're not on the payroll. You don't get no money. Right?
You get used a lot.
Hey?
You get used a lot.
Well,
but you don't get any money out of it.
So you don't get no money, and I've done that intentionally because I am not prepared to pay any more tax in the UK. So I've done it intentionally, but the downside is the non-executive chairman puts in the money. So there's a plus and a minus.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's more minus there, is there not?
Well, I made a pledge I will never pay any more tax in the UK. I haven't left the UK to avoid tax. I've left the UK because I don't like what the government are doing with their tax money, and they're wasting it. I've paid in over 100 mil in personal tax in my working life, and that's a lot of dosh. And I ain't prepared to pay no more in, and I don't care who belly aches, who agrees with me, who don't agree with me. It's my money. I do what I want with it. And now I'm here now. And if the Labour government mess it up more in the UK and many more businesses close down, we lose people, then We Fix London will be We Fix Dubai. No hesitation about it. And you know, there's a massive margin out here now for the real good tradesmen. You know, we've got plenty of tradesmen come over here from various different countries, but now you want real good quality tradesmen. And I'm going to add an idea in your mind now that I'm working on. I can't say too much about it, but I'm going to be working with one of the top 10 families in Dubai. I've been asked at this stage not to mention their name.
Okay.
And I'll be having a meeting with them this year after Christmas. And I've come up with an idea of how to attract youngsters from the UK into Dubai. It's a dead simple system, 17, 18 years of age. You offer them the accommodation. So here, hopefully they build accommodation that they can afford. They obviously get them a job, sign them a contract. They pay for their fare to come here. And the contract is, if they're no good, you go back. Obviously, they don't buy them a return ticket. And I believe that the safety aspects of them coming here, and I'm going through this with a very influential, respected family business people out here, in the top 10 family, and I'll be meeting up with them, and they are jumping all over the idea of how it can work. And the reason it will work is because there is no future in the UK for youngsters. There's no future in Germany for youngsters. There's no future in say, Russia or Spain or other places. The future's not there for them. Dubai is screaming out for people. It wants people. For me, it's a country for young people, and this scheme will work. And I'm telling you now, this guy, this very, very respected family man who has a big group of businesses, and I was just told today he's one of the top 10 families in Dubai, respected, and he is all over the idea, absolutely loves the idea.
So how do you vet the people you want to come? Because you're talking about 17, 18-year-old people. So does that mean you're bringing people to do particular apprenticeships here?
Yes. Well, you'll offer them whatever's available. If the market out here for construction workers, then they'll be offered that. If it's for IT, if it's for infrastructure, whatever is needed, that's the application they'll be filling in. And you're not going to get waste of time people do it, because waste of time people don't do nothing. They stay at home. So you're going to get people that want a future, the people that want to get on, and it's very good knowledge in the UK that if you come to Dubai as a youngster, a couple of years later, that they can become millionaires. I know of people myself. They're in property, but all the people I know that have moved to the UK, that are have moved from the UK, that are youngsters, are doing very, very well over here, a lot better than what they would do. And again, I have to say it, that they're coming to a country where you're appreciated. And that's probably the difference from Dubai and the UK. And the other thing is, as I keep saying, is you're not going to get stabbed over here.
Okay. I don't think it's that bad in Britain, but okay, that's how you see it.
When did you go there?
I'm back every year. I never feel it's as dangerous as you say. I think
why are you here then?
There are issues, and I think you're right about that. Why am I here? I'll tell you honestly, I came here in 1999, and I came here for 2 years. And then life happens, kids, and you stay and you work and everything else. But it was different. It
is bad in the UK. I'm just I'm going to just change your mind a little bit on that.
Okay.
Because what's going on in there is the crime rate is going up incredible. The unemployment rate is going up incredible. There's no opportunities for youngsters, and every youngster that I've spoken to about this idea, which isn't many. I mean, I'm being honest with you. The family I'm working with, I'm only going to work with this family on this idea. I'm not putting it out there to everybody. These people are fully behind it. They want to get youngsters here. And if you think about it, it's homegrown. It's homegrown people. I mean, it's a winner. I'm telling you, it's a winner.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it develops, I suppose. I mean, if your discussions are ongoing, you've got UE stakeholders. This is a private initiative. This is not a government initiative that you're talking about.
A private, yeah.
It's a private initiative. Okay.
But I believe there's connections with the government.
Okay.
I believe that, you know. I mean, the group, I would love to be able to mention their name, because the few people I've mentioned it to, they're very well known, but they've just said to me at this stage, let's just have a meeting and let's work from there. But very respected business people.
Well, it's a hard thing to examine. From my point of view, it's a hard thing to examine because it's vague, because it's, you know, it's necessity for you to not mention. So what we'll do, we'll do a deal. Once you've got something else to say, come back and talk to us and talk us through how it works.
Yeah.
And give us the. So then I mean, you can judge it from then, I suppose. Aside from that, you know, you spend time between here and Spain. Any plans for any other ventures aside from maybe We Fix Dubai at some point? Who knows? Yeah. Any plans for anything else? Because you've got some money, you've got some time, I guess. Any thoughts of what you might do?
Not saying I want to help the rest of my family to try and get to Dubai. So they're trying to sell. Some of them are trying to sell their houses now. So, you know, I've given quite a lot of my money away to family and obviously to charities. But my main concern really, I think, is really working on giving youngsters a future. And I'm not doing this to be spiteful to the UK. I'm saying to the UK, you need to wake up and start looking after people. You know, these people are taxpayers. These people, many youngsters, they want to go to work, but unfortunately, we have a massive amount that don't go to work and they claim benefits, and it's all wrong. And you know, I think the difference here is, to say, I'm going to just have to say it, is you have a future here as a youngster, and if you get it right, your lifestyle is just incredible.
Do you think that one of the things about here that you've noticed, you've been coming here a long time, since 1990, that's nearly 30 years coming backwards and forwards to Dubai. Whether it's holidays or not, you start to get a feel for a place, don't you? You start to understand, you meet people, build relationships and everything else. But do you think do you feel like there's a more can-do culture here?
Oh, blimey, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere I go, people are wishing you well, and I know people that have started up businesses. I know people that are working for businesses. One particular guy, he started up virtual tours on properties, and he said to me, he said, I've got 5 children. He said, I've got 5 children. He said, I'm working for a company doing the virtual tours. He said, and I'm financially better off, my lifestyle is better off, and I'm much more appreciated. You know, the thing that I think the UK lacks is trying to inspire people that you can do well. You know, look, to me, it's I always look at it as a right road and wrong road. And if someone can help you along the right road, on the right road, there's a pot of gold. On the wrong road, God knows where it can lead to, prison. Anything can happen. And the difference in Dubai is there's only one road, and it's the right road.
Okay. Let me ask you a harder question then. There are many people who would criticise your point of view, okay? That you're actively trying to strip, you know, UK's workers away, skilled workers away. That would be an argument. And we need people like that for the UK to recover from COVID and fill that budgetary hole. Is it unpatriotic to encourage a brain drain of the next generation, do you think? How do you feel about that?
Look, I'm told that I'm not very patriotic. I've paid in 100 mil into the UK. I still help various charities. I've put in a hell of a lot of money in charities. I've helped communities. I've trained over 1,200 apprentices. I've employed thousands of people. They can call me what they want, but the way I look at it is, why should people not get the advice of how they can improve their life? That's all I'm doing. I mean, I don't care if I was directing people from the UK to I don't know, sort of Africa. If their life is going to be better and they've got a future, there's nothing wrong with that. For 40 years, I've been doing apprenticeships. 40 years, I've been training youngsters. The government are no longer listening. They're not interested in it. This patriotic nonsense is absolutely nonsense. You know, if these people want to suffer, and if these people want to live in a third world country, if these people want to keep going to work and giving their hard-earned taxpayers' money to lazy people, then that's their choice. But it's not for me. It takes a lot of balls for someone to stand up and say, I'm not having no more of it. I'm moving out of the country. And yes, I'm encouraging. Look, anyone I speak to, this is what people say to me. If you could give me one bit of advice, Charlie, what would you give me? And the advice is, get out of the UK as quick as you can.
That was going to be my last question, but I've got the answer now, so I've got another question for you in a minute. Look, more stuff. You're controversial to a lot of people. We've talked about that, and some of your views are, you've been vocal about the situation in London, very critical of the London Mayor, Sadiq Khan, in the past. Very vocal about the Labour Party, the ruling party at the moment. You're often accused of being quite divisive, I think. Your support for Nigel Farage, the Reform Party guy, that's kind of evidence of that to people, some people, I think. So you're vocal in how you feel. You've seen your fair share of criticism. Maybe some of that's unfair. Maybe some of that's reasonable. How do you deal with it? Because when you're in the public eye, and you are, you've got to have a pretty thick skin. I mean, I know you're saying it doesn't affect me, I don't care what people think, but it must get to you.
Well, look, probably putting it in proportion, 90% of people that come up to me, or 100% of people that come up to me and say hello, and there ain't nowhere in the world I don't get recognised. I get, in Dubai, recognised a hell of a lot. And 90% of the people come up to me and they agree with me. So, and it's the 10%. So, you know, I think the fact that 90% of people...
The people that don't come up to you are not going to come up to you. The people that don't agree with you are not going to come up to you, are they? You know,
well, a few of them do. A few of the pests.
Do people come up and sort of pester
a few
you?
of the pests come up and go, oh, look, I don't think this and I don't think that. I say, look, we all got an opinion. Opinions are like, aren't they? We've all got one.
That's one way of putting it. Another bleep.
but I'm just saying, everyone has an opinion.
They do. No, you are right.
I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but what I am saying is that 90% of people that come up to me, they shake my hand and they say, well done for what you're doing, well done for giving people an opportunity to see that, you know, there is a future outside of the UK. There is a future without getting a university degree. So, you know, I think I'm more patriotic than what people think. I mean, I still get involved with charities there. You know, the company that I have at the moment, We Fix London, every job we do, a certain amount of money goes to our chosen charity. I've put in over 1.2 million in the last 14 months into charity of myself. So if that's not patriotic, and all my charities are, yes, they're in the UK. So when I say it don't bother me, it doesn't bother me enough that I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to give in and agree with these people. Yeah. I'm not forcing them to do anything. All I'm saying to them is that I feel the UK is not what it used to be, and there is no future there for youngsters. And nobody can prove me wrong. And can I just tell you how I come up with the idea of attracting youngsters here? I was speaking to a friend in Spain. He has a wonderful hotel, English guy, great business, had it for 30 odd years, and they're now buying out here in Jebel Ali, which is ready in a couple of years. And he said to me, at the moment, my son, 17-year-old, he said he's in Dubai looking into getting residency. And I went, what? He said, yeah, and he's got an 18-year-old daughter, so she'll be doing the same. And I thought, how clever is that for a youngster to start looking into getting residency in Dubai, right? And then I think to myself, well, there's no way this youngster could have come up with the idea. It's got to be his mum and dad, and that's what gave me the idea. If you can encourage youngsters that Dubai, get yourself a residency, get yourself out here, then to me that was the brainstorm I had, and I thought to myself, if this youngster is doing it, and now if you encourage people, I mean, if they do the idea that I said, find them accommodation that's affordable. Obviously, they've got to have a job because they wouldn't let them in, as you know. They give them a contract. If they're no good, send them back. Pay for their fare one way. The airports will be packed out, and Dubai will be booming because they will have homegrown talent coming through. And you know the changes here yourself. That can I ask you this? Population here is about 3 to 4 mil.
Dubai's just hit 4 million. Abu Dhabi's Dubai's just hit 4 million.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi's 4 million. I think the Emirates is something like 10, around about there.
Okay.
If you put all
Well,
the
I'm
Emirates
led
together.
to believe that the infrastructure is being made in Dubai for 12 million.
It's there are huge projections for growth. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So to me, and that's when people say to me, do you think the property market falls? Do you think there won't be work? Do you think this? Do you think that? Let's forget the negative things. Let's look at the positive things. The country has got a lot of growth in it, and the UK has got no growth in it. So it's honestly, anybody that's listening to me today, whether they agree with me or they don't agree with me, if you want your youngster to do well, then come to Dubai.
Okay. You're definitely forward-looking, I have to say. That would certainly be true. I got one more thing I wanted to just put to you, actually, and it's just something that made me laugh earlier. And I did warn you about this, but you don't know what it is. So I did a lot of research online when we heard that you were coming, okay? The internet never disappoints. It's colourful, and lots of the stuff about you is colourful. Expressions of interest, Charlie, in you are plenty. No shortage of views, some favourable, some less so, but this is what really made me laugh, okay? It's my favourite piece of Charlie Mullins' criticism, and it comes from Reddit, the online sort of discussion forum. Have you seen the movie Spinal Tap?
Have you what?
Have you seen the movie Spinal Tap?
No.
Well, you've not. Then this joke won't work, but I'll tell it anyway. Spinal Tap is like a mockumentary about a rock band. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very famous movie, 1984. Somebody said, this is about you, he was always my least favourite member of Spinal Tap. And I thought that was a lovely little bit of criticism, light-hearted criticism of you to finish with.
Yeah.
It's actually a compliment in a weird sort
Yeah.
of a way
Well,
as
look,
well.
I'm at the Rod Stewart concert the other night,
Right.
and more people are looking at me than Rod Stewart on the stage. And people
They're wondering if it's Rod Stewart or you.
People are saying to me, how comes you're here and you're and this is like getting a drink? Look, most of the time when people say I look like Rod Stewart or Bon Jovi or something like that, to me I see it as a compliment. These people are legends. Some people take the mick, as you call it over here, not the...
Good.
I'm okay with that. But as I say, I get more compliments than what I get criticism. And, look, there's winners and losers in this world, and I'm a winner.
Charlie Mullins is a businessman, he's an entrepreneur, he's a resident of Spain and Dubai. That's how I'm describing you.
I'm out here now, and I'm told by my people that I should be collecting my residency out here. And then I'll be buying.
Okay. Well, we'll be seeing more of you. And I'm going to invite you back as well to talk about the scheme as and when.
Thank you. It's been lovely to be able to express my views, and going by your face expression, you don't necessarily agree with everything I said, but I think you agree more with what I'm saying than against what I'm saying.
I'll be honest with you, I'm happy to take your point of view. I don't agree with a lot of what you say, I'll be honest with you, but that's not the point.
No.
It's how you feel. So, I could take you to task privately about some of the things.
But also, if I can just add this, what I have to say is I'll stack up. Yes, I built a company from nothing. Yes, I sold it for 150 mil. Yes, I've employed thousands of people. Yes, I've trained over 1,200 people. Yes, I've got an OBE. Yes, I've got the freedom of City of London. So the difference is that, I talk with my money and not my mouth.
It's fair. It's been good to talk to you anyway. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Charlie Mullins, this is Mira Business FM.